In this video, I want to cover the controversy surrounding the song Spin That by Young Miami. Now, as you see on the screen here, this is on YouTube. This video has been out for about 2 months and the song has probably been out for relatively the same time. So you can see that this isn't a new thing, the song rather, but the controversy surrounding the song actually started with this young woman named, I believe, Janice Downs. She was arrested, I believe, in somewhere in Bellevue, I believe in Seattle or California, something like that. And she was busted in a theft ring where she was stealing purses and things out of these high-end stores. And what happened was that the way she was caught is that she was dancing while flaunting these designer bags that she stole to the song Spin That from Young Miami. And that prompted a slew of controversy if this song is, good for black people or what it's promoting and things like that. And the first thing that happened was Indy Irie, which is, a singer, right? I believe she did a lot of this kind of hotep type music, whatever. She came out and she didn't say anything about it directly. What happened was there was a post that came out and it read like this. It said, "This woman stood by and defended a man accused of RAPE, human trafficking, revenge porn, assault, attempted deletion, and more. We all watched him beat the crap out of a young woman he groomed since she was 17. She wrote a character witness statement on his behalf, talking about P. Diddy, aka Sean Combs. She also doubled down on her statement that if her son was Rainbow, she would discipline him. What did y'all do? Gave her a song of the summer. Y'all are the reason we'll never be free." Now, this wasn't Indy Irie. This was a different woman that posted on Threads. Well, Indy Irie came back and she said, "I finally realized that not everybody wants to get free. And it was a very, very, very rude awakening, shaking my head, because the mass acceptance of this song is a crystal clear sign of this much bigger truth." Now, with all this going on, two people came out, two, I would say, prolific, if you will, rappers, hip hop artists. They came out against Indy Irie, and that was Trick Daddy and Uncle Luke. Now, this is what Trick Daddy had to say, and this is courtesy of The Breakfast Club. Check this out.
Trick Daddy was one of the people who hopped in defense of Young Miami. Let's take a listen to Trick Daddy.
Shout out to my little homegirl, Young Miami. Got the hottest record, the finest little shit in the game right now, and everybody jamming this record except a few old century hoes. That's why I don't you old hoes right now, because you hoes is too modern, outdated. The game done passed you by. You take our time to go on social media to down talk a girl. We've been talking negativity in every music before I even started doing music. I'm about you age. Leave that little young lady alone. If you see how pretty she is, you don't look like her, so it's giving me hate a little bit. You ain't shaped like her. You don't shape like me. Music ain't for everybody. If these young bitches in the day do not want to be old and miserable like you for the rest of their life, they want to smoke a hookah, take them a shot of Don Julio or Patron. They want to get flued out and get real good, you dumb, ignorant bitch. On behalf of Young Miami, kiss every bitch ass in Miami. If you think we give a about how you feel, then go spin that shit.
Now, y'all heard that, right? Now, to be fair, also Trick Daddy has a aversion, if you will, to older women. He said this numerous times. He's caught flack for it, but he doesn't care. He's a 51-year-old man. He likes younger women. No hate on that. Of course, there's I would say a better way to explain that might be not so rough around the edges, but again, that's his business, and it's a free country, right? Well, also, Uncle Luke came out. Uncle Luke is, the man that said, hey, we want some. He came out. He also had something to say about this. Check this out.
So when this girl, India, Irie, or whoever the hell it is, listen, I have no problem with these Afrocentric type people, but they're always jumping into the conversation of wanting art to be created like they are. If everybody lived in the world of Jill Scott and all music was Jill Scott and Indy Irie and Afrocentric, we would be bored as fuck. I'm sorry. I love their music. I appreciate their music. I appreciate their artistic values. But at the end of the day, why are you having a conversation about something that's considered as art? Does anybody get all upset when the man is standing up there and people are looking at the sculpture, the art sculpture, or this man with his gypsy tools out? Nobody has nothing to say about that.
Now, Uncle Luke had to say that. You heard about what Trick Daddy had to say right now. India.Arie came back and she doubled down on the response that she had to the post that was on Threads. Listen to this.
And I've been in the blogs a couple times this last week, and so I wanted to come and talk about these things. Let's talk about the easy one first. It is being wrongly reported that I think we should boycott this song of the summer. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I refuse to sing that song, but either you know what it is or you don't. And if you don't, you can go find it. It's very easy. But I don't think we should boycott. What I want is to see people understand the power of words and music and to make choices that are healthy for them. That's what I want. Do I think it matters what I want for people? No. I have finally learned that it doesn't matter and that there's no amount of sacrificing my life force energy that is going to make anybody want anything better for themselves. All I can do is emanate what I emanate, stand for what I stand for, and hope that it reaches who it's meant to reach. And that's it. And that's all I'm going to do. And so my comment makes it very clear that I don't think we should boycott. My comment is tantamount to everybody doesn't want the same thing. And there are a lot of people who are saying it's just a song. Well, if that's what you think, enjoy. But what I know is that music has power. But of course, I have used that power to help some people. And I have traveled around this world twice. And I see the impact of what we export out of the Black American experience to the rest of the world. Longer story for another time, but I've seen it. So I know. And I'm telling you what it is. But you enjoy if that's what you want to do.
Now you heard that, right? That's about a 12-minute video, but the beginning part is a summary of really what she's talking about, right? Now, this is my opinion on this, okay? Now, there's a lot of things that can be true at the same time. Is that Spin That song promoting degenerate and criminal behavior? Yes, it is. Or at least portraying that in the music, in the lyrics, in the video, okay? But here's the other bit, right? We, and myself included, cannot be hypocrites and say, okay, well, this song is toxic just because somebody used it in commission of a crime. Because me personally, I like to listen to Future. Future's hella toxic. He talks about gratuitous amounts of fornication. He says, if you catch me cheating, I will never tell her sorry, things like that. He's a serial, bad boy, right? I like listening to his music because it's toxic and it's motivating in sometimes positive and negative ways, right? A lot of other people, they listen to, Miami, they listen to Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Dr. Dre, all these other people we listened to in the past, No Limit, Cash Money, things like that. With NWA, there's a lot of music we listen to, past and present, that has done the exact same thing. Young Miami is just the newest version of the latest version, the more hardcore version, because it has gotten more hardcore as the years and the decades and the eras and the culture has gotten deeper and further. You see what I mean? So a lot of us are having a hypocritical view of this. Now, what we should be doing if you want to change this, right, is just to have more people make better music, because we don't have people like India.Arie anymore. We don't have people like Common or The Roots or De La Soul or people like that was having more positive messages in their music. We don't really have that anymore. And if they do, they're not promoted and they're not pushed up in the algorithms. And there's reasons for that, I assume, but you understand that, right? Also, by the way, we are not the only consumers of this music. So we're not the only ones to blame either for this, right? Because the record labels and the powers that be that are in rooms we'll never be in, they want to promote what's going to sell, right? And guess what? Black folks aren't the only people listening to black, this hip hop and this R&B music. There's all kind of cultures around the world that are listening to this type of stuff. And they're probably feeling the same way about that we are. A lot of people aren't using this music to go out there and commit bad behavior or go into devious deeds, but some people are, and that makes it look bad. Okay, so we also have to look at it from a certain perspective as well. Like most of us just listen to this in our car going to work. We're about to go on a date or something. We're about to go to a function or something. We listen to this. for 5-10 minutes, and then we get out the car, we turn it off our radio and we go on about our business, right? We actually live productive lives. This stuff is just purely entertainment. For some people, they are using this stuff, or I guess they're using it while they're listening to it while they're engaging in devious deeds. But did that make them do it? No, they're probably already criminals. You see what I mean? Just like that one lady in Bellevue. This music didn't help her commit this crime, but because the song was talking about something that she just happened to be doing, well, she used the music, and that's what made Young Miami look bad, right? But again, people have used Future, people have used people like J. Cole and other things like that when they're conducting crimes. You think these guys are in these cars going to rob banks and going to snatch people up and going to these drive-bys? You think they're listening to classical music? They might be. I don't know, depending on where the headspace is at. But they listen to whatever they want to listen to, really. They could be listening to rock. They could be listening to freaking Guns N' Roses. They could be listening to, whatever. You know what I mean? They could be listening to rock music. They could be listening to country. They could be listening to no easy listening. It doesn't matter, really. But again, back to the point of the black community, a lot of us have this hypocritical view. We can't say that Young Miami song is bad or that somehow hurting the black community or that type music, but we haven't stopped it in the past. Again, Young Miami is just the latest version of this type of music we've been listening to for decades now. Okay? Matter of fact, before hip hop was even a thing, have you listened to some of these oldies? You go back and listen to what they were actually saying in their lyrics, and actually some of this stuff wasn't good. You see what I mean? A lot of this music was about women being side pieces, about men, taking other men's women. It was about men, dealing drugs in the inner city, about being gangsters and pimps. So it didn't just start with hip hop and R&B either. In the oldies, in the 70s and 60s, right? So unfortunately, our black culture has a history of making this type of music. Now you can say it was, just expression, what we see in the hood and all those kind of things, but let's keep it real. If we made different type of music, maybe it would be more motivating to our community. But that's another subject for another day, and the conversation that probably nobody wants to talk about, because with that kind of stuff sell. All right, we have these. You know what? I'm not even going to get into that. But would it be promoted if we start talking about gratuitous amounts of drug use and bad behavior and fornication? If we were talking about sending our kids to good schools and uplifting the black community and starting a business and having families and wives and children and husbands, would that music be promoted? Would we promote it in our community? You answer that to yourself. And with that being said, thank you for attending another episode of the Working Man Podcast. I am your host, Nicholas J. Fury. Let me know what you think about all this messaging I just gave you and the opinions of Uncle Luke and Trick Daddy and Indy Irie about that spin that for Young Miami. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section. And please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell on your way out of the door. And I'll see you next video.